I've got another video today discussing the sad fate of Big Mound. Once located on the west bank of the Mississippi River near downtown St. Louis, Missouri, all that remains of this ancient site is a small forgotten park. I recently traveled to St. Louis and had originally planned only to see the St. Louis Arch, but as I've begun documenting ancient American sites, I researched the area to see if there were any mound sites nearby. Once I realized that Cahokia Mounds was close, I knew I had to make time for a trip out there. While researching Cahokia Mounds, I found several references and videos to St. Louis's Big Mound. I was already visiting the Arch that day, and the remnants of Big Mound were only a few minutes' drive north. Easy to find, Big Mound is appropriately located at the end of Mound Street in a partially abandoned industrial waterfront district. Upon arrival to the site, it appears to have been a small, forgotten marker with minimal maintenance and upkeep. The street has become a place to dump trash, along with overgrown weeds and graffiti. I was surprised at the state of the small historic site. The site had been relocated several years ago to make room for the construction of the Mississippi River Bridge, which passes directly over the former mound's location as well as the previous historic marker. A few benches, descriptive signs, and a small plaque inlaid in a stone are all that remains of the largest mound in the St. Louis Mound complex outside of Cahokia, which I will discuss in a further video. The St. Louis Big Mound was once part of a series of an estimated 40 earthen mounds that spanned an area of the western Mississippi River in what is now the Missouri side of St. Louis. The construction of the mounds is attributed to the Mississippian indigenous culture and dates from approximately 600 to 1300 AD, several hundred years before the arrival of Europeans to the area. The abundance of mounds in this location had given rise to the nickname of Mound City during the early days of settlement. Archaeologists assess that Big Mound and the surrounding mounds were once an extension to the Cahokia complex only a few miles east. Big Mound was the largest platform mound surveyed on the west side of the river. Built in what is described as a ridge mound along the edge of the nearby Mississippi River, again a common trait among the ancient mound builders. At its discovery, it was measured to be 319 feet long, 158 feet wide, and 34 feet high. But today, the only reminder of this once massive burial mound is a small marker in a nearly abandoned industrial area of the city. So what happened to this massive site? The systematic destruction of the St. Louis mounds began almost as quickly as the city was settled. The region was historically a commerce hub for native tribes on the Mississippi River and enticed European and American settlers to settle there as well. Though the mounds had been standing for hundreds of years, it only took a few decades to erase them from history. An early survey conducted by Army engineers in 1819 is considered to be one of the more accurate. They cataloged 25 mounds and named one of the more distinctive mounds as Falling Garden, due to its 3 wide step terraces facing the river. By the 1830s, the city development and modern advancement of the city's waterfront began the destruction of the mounds. People built homes atop some mounds, and in 1833, city workers dug out Little Mound to create a water reservoir, which was later leveled in 1856. By 1840, most of Falling Garden had been destroyed. In 1844, a lumber company purchased Big Mound and built an attraction called Mound Pavilion on top, but it was unsuccessful and later burned down in 1848. The slow destruction of Big Mound culminated in 1869, where the last remains of the mound were removed and the soil used to build part of the North Missouri Railroad along the river. As is the case with most of the mound structures in the United States, very little professional work was done to preserve and catalog their contents. Excavators allegedly found evidence of ancient graves, tools, and trinkets made of shell from the Gulf of Mexico, and 2 copper earrings of long-nosed gods. Few artifacts survived the carelessness and looting, and archaeologists made one more dig before ground broke on the new Mississippi River Bridge that runs above the site of Big Mound, but nothing substantial was found. This once powerful symbol of Native American history and a testament to their engineering feats has been all but forgotten by history. The disrespect for ancient sites continues to become more appalling the further I research sites like this. The only mound to survive destruction in the city is Sugarloaf Mound, located on Ohio Avenue overlooking the river. Currently, the Osage Nation of Oklahoma now owns the property.